Big day on Capitol Hill. The former president talking to GOP lawmakers. And of course, he's having a little bit of fun and he likes to tell stories. And the next thing you know, somebody's tweeting about it. This reporter from an internet news organization started tweeting out what Donald Trump said about Nancy Pelosi. He seems to recall, it's a wild story, by the way, completely wild, so buckle up, okay? He seems to recall one of the daughters saying to him jokingly that in another world that, maybe the two of them would have dated, the two of them would have gotten along just great. They might have been a thing. I'm not so sure that one of the daughters said that, but this is what Donald Trump remembers, and this is the story he told, and everybody's laughing, and this, that, and the other. He's sort of saying, you know what, she's not that bad. He's sort of throwing her a bone, but the daughter takes it way too seriously. One of the daughters, I think she's got 4 daughters. And so the next thing you know, the daughter's responding on Twitter, and now it becomes this whole big thing. Look at this. Nancy Pelosi's daughter, this is in the Daily Mail, great paper, avidly denied Donald Trump's account that one of the former speaker's daughters had told him that he and her mom would have been a great thing together in another life. Quote, Nancy Pelosi's daughter, he said, oh, this is bad, is a wacko. He's laughing, right? Her daughter told me if things were different, Nancy and I would have been perfect together. There's an age difference, though, he said. She's a little bit older. Anyway, multiple members confirmed to dailymail.com that Trump had indeed told the story of her daughter, mentioning Pelosi and Trump would be great together. Well, the daughter did not take kindly to that. She's out on Twitter saying there's no way this ever happened, and he's completely a lunatic, and this feeds into the wacko narrative. It was Jake Sherman who actually tweeted this out, and she writes, Christine Pelosi, speaking for all 4 Pelosi daughters, this is a lie, in all caps. His deceitful, deranged obsession with our mother is yet another reason Donald Trump is unwell, unhinged, and unfit to step foot anywhere near her or the White House. Wow. So he's got a deranged obsession with the mother. I don't know about that. I actually think that the mother might have a bit of a deranged obsession with Donald Trump. But it's not entirely deranged, right? There's a method to the madness, as I was saying earlier, because Biden is so beatable. So what do? You double down on this narrative that Trump is not stable, that Trump is going to ruin democracy, that Trump is bad, and you are bad if you even think for 2 seconds of voting for the guy. That's their entire political shtick. It's pretty alarming, right? But that's what they want you to think, and hopefully you think more of yourself than to allow the Democrats to frame your position. But Nancy Pelosi, in a weird way, is obsessed with Trump. As is Whoopi Goldberg, as is Joy Behar, as is, remember that Kathy Griffith? I mean, they're all obsessed with Donald Trump. But let me be very clear. It's not just Donald Trump they're obsessed with. I mean, they go after anyone and everyone. Think about it. Look at how they went after Ron DeSantis. They called him all the same things that they're calling Donald Trump. Look at how they went after even Nikki Haley, who, right, should be like the cheerleader of their club. And they were saying that she was racist because she didn't have a good enough explanation when she was talking about the Civil War. And did she dare to say that there were some economic issues involved? Couldn't even go there, right? I mean, let me just tell you, as a student of economic history, guess what? There were economic issues involved. A lot of this was about how the economy was changing, North versus South. Were we going to be an agrarian economy? Were we going to be an industrial economy? And yes, there was obviously the issue of human beings, but Nikki Haley wasn't entirely wrong when she talked about the economic roots of the Civil War, but they jumped on her like you wouldn't believe. And by the way, the woman is Indian on top of it. So she's technically a minority herself. I mean, what do they want? Look at them going after Byron Donalds, who I know you love, out of Florida. The congressman, the only congressman I know that can talk about the Federal Reserve. Like literally talk about the Federal Reserve with you for like an hour and have a substantive conversation on the economy. He's a former money manager, so he knows this stuff. Byron is Black. And he talked about during the days after the Civil War how Black Americans were married and they were going to school and they were staying in their family units. And actually, it was the 1960s in Johnson and the economic policies of welfare that destroyed the Black family by kicking the man out of the house. Now, Byron's not wrong in saying anything like that, but what do you read in the headlines? Byron Donalds, he just wants to go back to the Jim Crow South. I mean, this is dangerous to them. So my point being, they don't have anything else to run on. They don't have policy. For goodness sakes, if you really want to run on that whole race issue, I mean, Joe Biden does not exactly have a good track record, and Kamala Harris pointed that out in the 2020 debate. I couldn't believe he picked her as VP. It shows you how political he really is. But she pointed out, hey, buddy, you were against busing. You were against the integration of schools in America because you were standing with your friend, was it from South Carolina? I mean, look. You can have that talk all day. I don't see Trump going around calling people boy. That's what Biden does. Over and over again. So they don't have a darn thing to run on. So what do? They go back to the well and they make stuff up. Anyway, Nancy Pelosi's daughter, all in a tizzy. I just tell her to calm down, to laugh it off. You just made a way bigger deal of it. She thinks this is going to help. It's not. It's not. That helps Trump. Not Nancy.